Kelly. We are on iHeartRadio. All you need to do is download the app to your smartphone or tablet and take us with you wherever. You can go to WVON.com, and of course, you can always call us direct, 312-374-8130. This is America's Heroes Group, of course, and we are continuing. Don't forget that we've said this earlier, June is PTSD Awareness Month, and that's something that we always keep in mind, and we've been talking to a number of our guests about that. We are pleased now to have in our studio our panelist, Michael Butler, Army veteran and Deputy Commander of Disabled Vets, Chapter 84. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, thank you, sir.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Great, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Great. Thank you so much for being here. Army veteran and DAV legislative officer. How are you, sir?
Very good. Thank you for inviting us.
It's a
Pleasure to be
pleasure
here.
to invite you. You know that, what you folks do. And you mentioned something to me. I still have a memory about your neighbor. I said, oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. Let's start off with Mike. Mike, tell us what's going on.
All right, I'll tell you a little bit about what we do at Chapter 84.
84, right.
Yeah, we are dedicated to a single purpose, empowering veterans to lead high-quality lives and with respect and dignity. We accomplish this by ensuring that veterans and their families can access the full range of benefits available to them. Fighting for the interests of America, injured heroes on Capitol Hill, and educating the public about the great sacrifices and needs of veterans transitioning back to civilian life. The DAV usually covers all of Illinois, which essentially runs from Interstate 80 to the Wisconsin border. We have just over 1,000 active members, and we meet on the first Friday of each month in Oak Lawn, Illinois, at the Johnson Phelps VFW post at 9414 South 52nd Avenue in Oak Lawn, Illinois. It's just something I can discuss that I put in some work today, and it just moves me. I love doing it. We got these forget-me-nots, and this is something that we do maybe once. We do it every weekend, in the month of June for the most part. And the DAV is founded directly from the American people. Not one penny is accepted from the government. We are a nonprofit organization. We exist and fund our operation through the support of our members and the generosity of the American public. Our chapter is engaged right now in our only major fund throughout the month again of June. Chapter 84 members appear at shopping centers or community stations, and we distribute the forget-me-not flowers to citizens and remind them of sacrifices made by a few of their fellow Americans who served in our military. I love doing it. It's a noble thing.
Isn't that great?
It's awesome.
It really, again, your service?
I'm an Army vet, 87 and 92.
Good. I just wanted you to say that.
Not a problem.
I'm a little prejudiced. I'm kidding. I don't care what service. It's all good. I happen to be Army vet.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. So, no, that's great. But it's obvious you enjoy doing this.
I do. I love it.
And you get great response, don't you?
Yes.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. That the effort you put forth pays off.
It does.
Yeah, it really does. Ken Bohr, how are you, sir?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Good. Army veteran and DAV legislative officer. Tell us about what you are doing.
Well,
The legislative officer.
Well,
that's a
yes,
big
it's
deal.
fancy name for being a cub reporter. I attend meetings out in Washington, D.C., and just came back from the Springfield State Convention, where we gather information from the members of what we want to present to Congress. So the State Convention is in June, and then we'll coalesce all of the ideas of new programs or benefits that we want to see the VA institute, and those are brought forward in February in Washington, D.C., and after the convention, then we sit down. There's 1,000-strong members with, I think it's around 12 or 15 congressional senators, congressmen, and present what we want to see happen as our goals for the following year.
to the Congress relative
Yes, sir.
relative to legislation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I got you. At this point, Ken, I'm sure it's too early to determine what you really want to do. I guess, is that right? Of course, now you met in Springfield. What did something interesting happen there that our listeners should know about?
Well, we brought up a couple of new benefits or ideas.
Great.
One of them would be dental care for the vets. Right now, you have to be 100% disabled to get any type of dental care. Eyeglasses, hearing aids, that comes with less than that. So we thought this would be a natural progression of benefits for the vets. Back in February, when we were in D.C., we were talking there about the burn pit situation and the Blue Water Navy Vietnam programs. Are you familiar with those?
Listeners may not be. Ken, mention what they are. Yeah.
Burn pits. The veterans who served in Afghanistan and Iraq, they incinerated their trash in what is called an open pit, and these toxins would then go up in the air, and the soldiers would be breathing in this. So now we have a lot of vets who have respiratory illnesses and problems. They didn't have proper incinerators to burn it clean. So when I was in Washington, I was talking to Tammy Duckworth about this, and she, delightful lady, by the way.
Sure, absolutely.
She said that when she used to fly her Black Hawk into Baghdad, she says it basically looked like the smog over L.A., a big brown cloud. And she would go through this, and she said if you were breathing, it would start causing you to have respiratory problems. Your eyes would burn, and it was just a horrible situation.
Yeah.
You know. So we're looking to have some type of legislation where they would approve anyone who's been there around those pits would now be able to have medical care based on the toxins.
You shouldn't have a problem with that, hopefully, in Congress.
Well, there have been some
pushback.
holdbacks on that,
Is that right?
trying to claim what is or isn't a toxin and
Yeah, we know
things
about
like that.
what happened
Yeah.
in Nam relative to that.
And then of course, now we have the Blue Water program. Congress just passed the legislation on that, which would give 410 to nothing, which is unbelievable.
Sure is.
It's being held up in the Senate right now. But
Tell us what that is.
The issue there is that right now, in order to be qualified for Agent Orange benefits, you would actually have to have boots on ground in Vietnam. And the issue here is that sailors who are in the water have the same type of diseases or illnesses right now, even though they never put a foot on the ground. And part of that comes back from the water that was taken on board, distilled, and they were drinking it, and the runoff from the land has that contaminant. And so we're having soldiers and sailors now that have that. So that looks like it's going to possibly go through now in the next few months with the Senate.
That's good.
Yeah.
What's the holdup in the Senate?
Money.
When you talk about, like you said, that count in the House is unbelievable, you know, and to have,
Last fall, I think there were 2 senators out west who kiboshed it, and so that had to
they
go
were
back through the whole.
block it, yeah.
So hopefully,
that'll
the
pass.
politics aside here, we'll get the benefits for the soldiers and sailors that they deserve.
Even a commander-in-chief wouldn't be against this. Not funny.
No, serious stuff.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, well, that's some good information. So hopefully they'll take care of that. Michael, what else do we need to know?
Not much more. I just want to touch back on
Sure.
the forget-me-nots things because I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah, tell me about that.
No one in the Chapter 84 collects a salary, and we do not hire contractors or anything to raise funds on our behalf. if you see a man or woman out there distributing or trying to receive funds, that person is usually either disabled or a spouse or relative of one. But that's pretty much I just wanted to make sure we were clear on that.
One of the things that was just mentioned by Ken, which I thought was kind of crazy, was dental care. A lot of people have problems with that. And what were you saying in dental care? You must be 100% disabled?
At this moment, yes.
What you have a lot of folks, I'm sure, that need dental care.
Yeah,
right?
but I can't explain that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. But from my understanding, yes, that's what they're requesting. You have to have 100% just to receive dental.
Well, hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, you're working on that, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's terrible. This is June is PTSD Awareness Month. What about that, Mike? Is there anything there at Chapter 84 that you all are doing to?
I don't know. Can you touch on that?
That's Ken. Okay, Ken.
Well, the 84 chapter is open to any vet who wishes to come in and talk about their situation. We have service officers that will greet these people at every meeting, which is the first Friday of every month. And any and all vets in the Illinois area can come in there, and if they think they have post-traumatic stress disorder or some other ailment, they can talk to our service officers, and they will take the information. And as you know, the DAV is the advocate between the vet and the veteran, the VA. And hopefully they'll be able to sort it out. And if somebody feels that they have a problem, we'll get them the testing and such to get the benefits that they deserve.
I hope there are enough people who recognize the fact, as you just pointed out, this is the advocate between the soldier and the VA.
Absolutely.
This helps them. Do you folks recognize that?
I think the VA does a fantastic job if you get into Hines or something.
Sure.
But the trick is to get into the system.
Right, exactly.
And that's where our people are trained to help the soldier go through this mouse maze of going through the hoops to get the benefits that they deserve.
And the DAV is there to do that, and you meet regularly.
Right.
Yes, sir.
But there still are a lot of people that I'm sure should be going to these meetings so they can take advantage of what the DAV does, and that's why we do this show, because a lot of people are unaware of it. Not only do we do the show, but we have a call-in number to be able to send people to the DAV or whatever.
All the above.
Yeah, exactly.
Even when you're doing those forget-me-nots, you don't just run into people that's donating. You also run into a lot of veterans, or people that's unaware of their, of the opportunity to go, seek benefits or seek help to receive benefits. So that's also a good networking tool out there when we're doing forget-me-nots, is to network with other people who just don't know how to go about it.
That's great. Yeah, because that's the bottom line. If you don't know the system, you're not going to be able to get the help that you are entitled to.
Exactly.
Which is so important. Mike, anything else we need to know?
I don't know. Maybe if Ken may have something.
Ken?
I don't really have anything.
We want to know because it's very important. By the way, our call-in number is 312-374-8130 if somebody wants to give us a call. I want to make sure people understand, Ken, the forget-me-nots. Tell us that again.
About the forget-me-nots?
Yeah.
How we, again, during the month.
What that means, yeah.
What that means. It's just, you just somewhat in remembrance. When we're out there, we...
Finish up. I'll
Oh, no, sorry. When we're out there, this is how we collect funds to help others. We get out there and people donate. And it's all good. Just because they appreciate us, and 100% of that goes back to people who can't help themselves.
Yeah, which is
Pretty
100% of that.
Let me step into that for
sure
one second.
can.
The forget-me-not is actually the name of a flower.
I
It's a
know.
little blue
Yeah,
flower.
little
You'll see the VFW will sell or collect with the poppy, the little red flower.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the DAV uses the light blue flower, the forget-me-nots for the same purpose, so to
Yeah, I knew it
collect
was a
funds.
flower, yeah.
Okay, right.
So,
Yeah, yeah. So that's the way to collect.
Yes.
Yeah, which is certainly. And how are we doing relative to? I know you folks have an idea of how much you need to raise, and I know you have a lot of volunteers and a lot of good people that want to participate and to do whatever they can. How are things working relative to raising money?
It's been a good year
Good.
for us.
Good. Good.
And as Michael said, every penny we raise goes right back to the vets. In this past year, we have used the funds that we received. There was one fellow who needed one of these apparatuses for breathing, a little portable one you've seen on TV.
Right, exactly.
And I think they're like $3,000.
Yeah.
So he could have gotten a canister unit from the VA, but it's like 40 pounds, and there's no way you could be carrying this thing around.
Yeah.
So we went out and got him one of these things to help him, and we also donate money for the care animals and the seeing eye dogs for training of those things and other issues. And then we
great.
just have the vets who come in and they've fallen on hard times,
Yeah.
and they need a few bucks. Pay for a gas or electric bill.
Sure.
And, so that's what we're there for, to help them get through that rough spot.
And you even get seeing eye dogs and training the dogs.
Well, we don't have the dogs, but we will donate money
That's what I
to
mean,
to
yeah.
an organization, yes, that does
To
the
get
training.
them,
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
So, well, that's great in answer to my question that you've been able to do some.
Yes, and obviously the more we collect, the more we can donate.
Yeah. Let's take a caller. Michelle, hi. We're on WVON 1690.
The Honorable Cliff Kelly, Governor. It's been years since we've spoken.
Well, thank you.
Thank you all for coming on. This is Father's Day. My dad died. He was a Navy SEAL,
Wow.
and he died from the effects of Agent Orange. All right. Now, Navy SEALmen did set foot on land.
Yeah.
To correct the person who said that they never did and therefore they don't get benefits. That's a lie. That happened in 1961 when they were put on land. And so all that legislation that's going down, that's been blocking down there, they need to correct that. Just Google it, and it's all right. The evidence is right there. There is no excuse. And so for those in the Army, even them, their children have suffered because of the effects of these wars and can't get any type of help. And when our parents pass on, they don't even acknowledge the effects that this stuff had on the children. So my question is, how can we do anything when the government is denying the facts? The Navy SEALmen did set land. They made babies in Vietnam. They couldn't have did that on the ship.
Michelle, you're great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call.
All right, bye.
All right, thanks again. Well, Ken, how about that?
Well,
You mentioned that earlier about the fact that the Navy people could also have gotten.
I wasn't necessarily thinking specifically about the SEALs, which,
SEALs,
as you know,
right,
I mean,
yeah.
they also parachute in and do all the
Yeah,
other
right,
all
sure.
the other good things, you know. But I was
Michelle makes some great points. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, is there any legislation?
Well, as I was saying,
that's right.
it's just about passed right now. We have the legislation. They have passed it 410 to 0.
Yeah.
To approve the blue water situation for the Navy personnel, and as soon as we get the Senate to go for it, yes, then the people
And that'll
be able
pass.
to apply for that.
Yeah, that'll pass. You got 410 to 0. That's my goodness. The only thing that I think would get that kind of vote would be a pay increase for the Congress. I want to thank Michelle again, though. She that was really funny when you're talking about the proof that they were there. You know, the fathering children.
Rocking the boat.
Yeah, that's right. Rocking the boat.
Or ship, as the Navy people would say.
Yeah, out of the ship. That's right. I want to thank you both, Michael Butler and Ken Bourne. Thank you both for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Keep up the great work.
Yes.
Before we go to our executive producer, I want to mention something quickly. A helicopter pilot who heads a military command in Guam will be the first female leader of the U.S. Naval War College, the Navy announced yesterday, days after removing the college president who came under investigation over questionable behavior. Rear Admiral Shoshana Chatfield will be the new president, Navy Secretary Richard Spencer said in a statement released after the school's graduation ceremony, calling her a historic choice. She is the embodiment of the type of warrior scholar we need to lead this storied institution as it educates our next generation of leaders, end quote, Spencer said. Again, another lady stepping up for first female president of the Naval War College. That is something else. I want to thank all of you for listening, and of course now, as always, we want to hear.